Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Glassman's World. I'm Dan the Glassman, and we're about to get started here. I got a lot of glass to make for some orders here coming up. I thought I was going to be here live already, like 24 minutes ago at 6 a.m. It's already 6:24. Um, Set up the live stream, went to share it on Facebook, and then when I went back to revert back, it deleted the all of the edit and everything. So I don't know what happened, but either way, we're here, we're live, I'm about to get started. I got to make some glass mushrooms, and later on, hopefully later today, I don't know. It's getting kind of crazy and ridiculous. I have very little time for myself to get things done, and I've got people asking for my help. And I'm like getting pulled in all these directions right now. But all I know is I'm stoked that we got our art entries in. This is one of them right there. That's my art entry for the New Mexico State Fair, Expo, New Mexico. And I do believe I have a good chance at winning some sort of ribbon. I'm not sure. But give me a moment here. Just got to do myself a little quick head change. And then we got to figure out what colors we want to make. I went through my inventory yesterday. I found out I've got 24 balloons. So I need to make like 76 more balloons at least. I got to make more than that. So I pretty much got to make like 100 balloons. And I got to make, I have an order for 50 mushrooms, and I counted them yesterday, and it looks like I've got, 26 of them. So I'm like halfway there with the mushrooms. Alright, let's get this all back into position and the right way it's supposed to be here. Something like that. Alright. What color? I didn't ever really check to see. I know I need yellow. I definitely need more yellow. Let's just get this new stick of, I believe this is canary yellow. I believe it's a Glass Alchemy cadmium color. So that means they use cadmium in this. That's why we need really good ventilation, because we're working with metals and things like that. So glass blowing, when you're using a lot of colors, then you're dealing with metal toxicity at that point. You got to be real careful with that stuff. You got to know how to detox the metals using Chileans like cilantro and things like that, things that'll pull out the heavy metals. Alright, we're going to do a quick stringer here. You just grab that and pull it. And then I like to pull out just the very end, the very tip like that, and actually use it. A lot of glass blowers will just pull it, yank it off, and then and scrap it, but I'd prefer to just use every bit of color that I have. We probably also need some cobalt. And I don't know, is that one cobalt? Or is that one cobalt? Huh. Let's see. It might be turbo cobalt, really, really dark. So yesterday we went, set up at the Sunday Nob Hill East Market. We're there every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And we're getting prepared for the State Fair Parade coming up on Saturday, September 6th. And then September 7th, we'll be back again. And that'll be the first day of live glass blowing demos on every first Sunday of the month. But I do plan on bringing out my torch on Saturday for September 6th. So we'll have live glass blowing demos in Nob Hill here in Albuquerque. And I don't know what time the parade starts. I just know that we're getting there super early. I think I have to get there at like 6 a.m. to get prepared and, you know, set up and everything. And then my wife and our son may have to actually catch an Uber to get there because I'm going to have to set up so early, and I don't think they're going to want to wake up that early. Or they just come and then camp out with me. Just bring sleeping bags and camp out and sleep. Let me make sure I got my video on here, so in case anyone comes in and chat live. I know it's early for all of my locals, but I do know I get some people that come in from time to time from different countries and stuff. Alright, so we're simply just going to be making mushrooms today, guys. Nothing too fancy, nothing too special. Yesterday's market was pretty good. We had a decent crowd that came through, and one of our favorite vendors was there again. She's gone bananas, and she makes award-winning banana bread. She won first place. I don't know if she won first place here or first place in California, but she's from California as well, just like I am. And yeah, so it's cool. So she's another award-winning vendor there, as well as myself being award-winning. You know, I should actually try to find a photograph. In 2008, I won a citywide competition for the ABQ, or what was it? The Alibi Best of Albuquerque, the Best of Budque, so the BOB. Yeah, it was a BOB award. Best of Budque. I won Best Glass Blower in 2008, and that was pretty cool. Alright, so to push a mushroom, let me move this out of the way so that's not anywhere I can break it. So to push a mushroom, you simply just get the tip of your clear glass molten, you pull a stringer, you let your stringer become solidified, and that way you can push the stringer into the molten glass. It's going to go through the molten part. It'll hit the part that's solid, have nowhere else to go, and basically it starts to umbrella inside there and become a mushroom. And that one probably wasn't the best push. So I was talking with one of the vendors yesterday. I believe it's the partner to She's Gone Bananas. I don't know if they're married or they're partners or somehow related or something. I'm not sure exactly. But he says that he's got access to some sort of what did he say? Like a high vibrational frequency device that helps with like, he was asking me if I've done acupuncture for my arm, because any time that I'm working, like right now, I can feel the pinch in my shoulder, and it's slowly starting to like create a sensation down my arm that is making my fingers slowly go numb. And so, with the mushrooms, these are something that I can make within like 3 minutes, less than 5 minutes. But anytime I'm making any other sort of glass, I have to really like switch my hands and go from right hand to left hand quite often, so I can get rid of that pinch, and I can get rid of the numbness in my fingers. Like right now, my fingers are going numb, but I'm almost done with this piece, so I can get through this and not worry about it too much. Like right now, I can stretch it out a little bit. I can rest my shoulders. So glass blowing is pretty strenuous, and you're working with a lot of weight and things like that. I think what I did was I blew my arm out by trying to make some really big tubes, some 2-foot tubes, 2-inch tubing, and doing it by hand without rollers or any lathe or anything like that. Yeah, and I think just over time, doing that for a little while and just making as much glass as I have been for 30 years, my shoulder just giving out some old age. I'm pushing 50. I may not look it, I may not act it, I may not feel it, but my shoulder, I guess, is still in it. I'm 50. I could jump, kick, punch. What's that lady say? She's always kicking up above her head. I'm 50. I'll be like that, but I'll be the old man version. And then I put the punchy on the bottom of this here, and then I stretch. I basically do a fire cut. So I cut the glass with the fire, basically by stretching it, pulling it until it melts off of itself entirely. And as I'm doing that, then I'll stretch and shape the loop, pulling the glass around in order to form the loop. And you got to do it in a way to where you have to let the glass set up, because if you like pull it and then pull it up and then bring it back down, it'll close down on itself. So you have to like let it set up and pull it slowly, so then it hardens and solidifies, so then it creates that loop around. Or else if you just do that, then it'll just, you bend it back down, it'll just shut on itself. You got to pull it, stretch it, let it set up and harden as you're pulling it while it's hardening, so it doesn't close in on itself. And now my fingers are completely numb. I gotta stretch this out for a sec. Oh, and it looks like my computer. Are we live here? I think we're live. It's like my computer is glitching out here. I have to shut this off. Man, I got me these cool disco tiles, and now I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I was going to put them on the display that I made for the state fair, but I didn't have time and it wasn't going to work. I was going to have square tiles on a round top, and it wasn't going to work. I was looking for a round mirror and I couldn't find just a simple round mirror. Okay, let's make another. You know, I'm thinking I only had an hour until 7 o'clock, but our son got sick and I don't think he's going to school today. I don't even think I should try to wake him to see how he's feeling. I think he should just, his stomach was hurting last night when he went to sleep. So I'm just going to let him stay home from school today. And hopefully my wife's okay with that, because I do have to go and get some work done. Let me try to turn this on real quick. Man, my arm, like going numb quick this morning. I can feel it in the front of my shoulder and chest area, like up by the shoulder. There's a lot of pull and tension in there. I need to get a therapist to work on me, but like I was saying, I may have someone who's got some sort of a machine that can work on it. And I told him I have a TENS unit, and he's like, oh, no. This is like way more powerful than the TENS unit. So we're going to try it out and see if that's going to help me. Electromagnetic therapy or something like that. Is that what he called it? Alright, so that last push, I forgot to heat up the tip of the color glass for some reason. I don't know why. But usually I'll heat up the tip of the glass and that'll help to spread out the mushroom as well. Get it in there, and then push it up. I like to stick the color into the tip of the clear glass just a little bit. And I don't know, there's something about just letting it sit there for a second and then you push it up, and it really helps to get that, the mushroom cap, or like get that umbrella, the umbrella-ing going. Umbrella-ing, is that a word? To make it umbrella out. So I know for sure I need yellow, and then probably some cobalt. I'm trying to remember like all the colors that I tied up yesterday. I tied up so many of them. We probably need some more regular green. I have a lot of the bright green, like the olive green and the, I don't know, is that olive green? It's a lighter green than olive. Olive's a little bit more darker. That one's like a yellow green. I have no idea how they make colors. It's pretty fascinating. You know, that's one thing that I'd like to see, is glass alchemists at work. And I don't know if there's any videos on glass alchemists. Like you see glass blowers, you see us. I'm a lamp worker. I work on a torch, a lamp worker or a torch worker. And then you have the ones that do the furnace work and work in the glory holes. And they have the vats of glass and the big metal tubes that they blow through. So there's lamp working or torch work, and then there's the offhand glass, or the furnace work, or the work they do in the glory holes. And then they have there's glass alchemists that simply mix different elements and metals into batches of color, or sorry, batches of glass, the molten glass, to get different colors, different pigments. And I think that would be really, really cool to be able to see how they do that. I'm going to stretch this out. And whenever I'm pulling that, and I'm spinning it, and then I'll stop spinning it, where I see is a nice placement for the front. So when I'm spinning this around, I'm always like looking for where the front should be. So that is where I picked the front should be. But if I spin it around, you can see it's kind of like to the back right there. But when you have it right there, then it's in the front, magnified. I could have had it here, where then it's closer. But when you have it here, it looks a little bit bigger and a little bit more magnified. Oh my gosh, my fingers are numb. I'm just going to have to work through it. I feel a real bad tightness in the front, like top of my shoulder and chest area. I'm going to have to find some sort of a massage therapist that can help me out. But then our friend, he said he'd be able to help out with that electromagnetic therapy. These big old pads. He said these pads are like, you know, bigger than my hand. And they put them on the areas of your body, and then you kind of move them around and figure out where it would work better, and get into that muscle or the nerve and stuff like that. So I'm willing to try it out because I really need something done. It's not fun to blow glass and have to massage yourself while you're blowing glass. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm like massaging the top of my pec and into my shoulder and almost into my armpit right there. Like there's something really tight up in here. Alright. Fingers are numb. Man, so weird to blow glass with numb fingers. And then I sleep on my side. I'm a side sleeper. Like I don't know. I can't sleep on just my belly. That's not comfortable. I can't sleep on just my back upright without moving. I'm constantly just on my side. And I guess sleeping on your side, it crunches your shoulders inward into like towards the front of your chest, kind of makes your chest concave. So I'm like really needing to work on that and trying to pull my shoulders back. You know, I need to have someone put their knee in the back of my spine and then pull on my shoulders to get that stretch. That's why I need some sort of a therapist that knows what they're doing, knows how to get those stretches in. Many years ago, I was blessed to have a roommate back in, what was it, 90, I guess about 97, 98, 99, around that time. Yeah, about 97. And he was going to the school, the Mexico School of Natural Therapeutics, and he was learning how to be a massage therapist. And so every day he'd come home and he'd be like, hey, I got a new technique. Can I try it out on you? I'm like, yeah, sure. So he would like work on me every day pretty much and try different things. The scariest one was when he was like, oh, I learned how to pop necks. Can I try it on you? I'm like, I guess so. And then he did it, and it was cool. But that's always weird. I've never been comfortable with that. I don't know. Chiropractic stuff's kind of weird to me. But massage therapy and stretching and stuff like that, and acupuncture and acupressure, that stuff works pretty good. But yeah, I'd need to definitely find someone who can focus in on my shoulder and figure out what's going on with all this numbness that's happening. The pinched nerve or the something that's locking up in my shoulder, my upper arm, and making my fingers go numb. So I see people are coming and going all morning. You guys are welcome to chat away. You're welcome to say hello. I'm just going to keep talking and rambling on until someone else wants to lead the conversation. But we got the State Fair parade that we got to prepare for here soon. And then the State Fair will be opening. One thing that's cool, my friend Ryan McGarvey, he's not like a good friend or anything, but I've known him for many years. I met him when he first turned 18 years old. He was 17, just turned 18 when I met him. And he's a blues sensation, a blues prodigy. This kid, he ended up winning the Eric Clapton music challenge or whatever, to where he won an opportunity to play on stage with Eric Clapton in Las Vegas when he was only like 18 or 19 years old. And that opened up the door for him. He got onto like Guitar World magazines and all this stuff. And his name is Ryan McGarvey. You can look him up. He's amazing. He's got a huge following in Germany, apparently. And he's going to be headlining at Tingley Coliseum at the State Fair, which Tingley Coliseum is like one of the big venues that we had for years. They now have new ones that have opened up, and Tingley has kind of become the trash can of venues. It's really echoey in there because of the way that it's built and designed. It wasn't really designed for a theater. It was more designed for like rodeos, I think, and things like that, like a rodeo arena. It's where they host the Gathering of Nations powwow. They have the Monster Jam there. They host like ice hockey there. So like one day it'll be like a whole rink of ice, and then the next day it'll be dirt for a rodeo. It's so crazy how they do it. I think they've had basketball games in there. They've had maybe indoor soccer. And definitely we've had ice hockey there with the Scorpions, New Mexico Scorpions. But I think we had basketball there too, and some other stuff. I've worked Monster Jam there for many years. Like, I've worked many concerts. I used to work with a company called NRG, and they would set up lighting and sound and everything like that. So I'd help with running cables and just, you know, bringing things out of the truck, bringing out speakers, monitors, subwoofers, you know, those kind of things. We weren't ever supposed to touch the main mixing boards and all of that on the racks, but they had us like carrying the speakers and the cables and things. And then you'd have the guys that would rig them up. You know, they were the ones that would climb up into the rafters and rig everything up. I got to set up Tool, several Tool shows, which was cool. Got to work with Stevie Nicks. Was it Stevie Nicks? Or was it a different? Maybe it was Stevie Nicks. I don't know. I got to work a few different shows. I didn't do that for too long though. That was something that I just did on the side here and there, and then I don't know why I didn't continue with working that. Maybe I just didn't feel it was worth the amount of money for the amount of work that we were putting into. I might have barely been getting like $10 an hour. That means it's 7 o'clock if you heard the alarm. I really am not planning on waking up my son, so we're just going to keep on working here. I'm not taking him to school. He was sick before going to bed last night. I'm just going to give him a day off and give him a break. We'll see how he feels throughout the day, and we'll just have to call him in sick today. And I got 3 of these. I guess I'll make, I don't know how many I need to make. I gotta make so many of them because I can't just make 50 or else I'll be completely out. So I gotta really focus on trying to make like 100 of these. So I should probably make 9 of each color like I normally do. Just go across in rows of 9. And we'll probably get like 5 different colors made to fill up the whole pad here. So that'll be 45. It's so crazy that these are the first items I ever really learned how to make, and they're still so popular that I can't make enough of them. It's ridiculous. Oh, what's up? How you been, Austin? Mushroom going in. So sorry I had a little hiatus there for a while. I was gone for a while. I got kicked out of all of my social media accounts, couldn't get into Google, and couldn't do my two-way authentication process because all my machines went down and my phone went down. It took getting a new phone to be able to get into all of my accounts. I was like back in the 80s without a pager. I had no way of communication from anyone. Couldn't get onto Facebook, couldn't get onto Insta. I couldn't get into anywhere. No YouTube. I couldn't get into my own email. It was fun. So how you doing? How you been? This morning I'm dealing with really bad issues with my fingers going numb. And I was talking about how I'm going to try to get electromagnetic therapy. A friend, one of our vendor friends from the Sunday market, he was telling me yesterday that, he was asking me if I've tried acupuncture. I'm like, no, I haven't done it yet. He's like, that stuff works really, really good. He's like, the place that I work at, they have this machine. It's an electromagnetic therapy machine or something, some kind of, I don't know, $100,000, $500,000 device or whatever it is, 50,000. I don't know what he said. Could have been 50,000. But he says it's this really expensive device that they have there, and it's got these big old pads, and you put them on, one in the back, one in the front, in the areas that you need to have work. And so he's like, yeah, he's like, I got access to it, like after hours, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, if you want to come and try it out sometime. I'm like, yes, please, because I think that'll definitely help. There's something going on with like the front. I was saying I'm a side sleeper. I sleep on my side, and I think by sleeping on my side, I'm really crunching in my arm and my shoulder. Also, I sleep on a futon mattress, and that's probably not the best for me right now. I think I'm just making it worse by sleeping out on the couch on the futon. But my wife, she's like one of the worst light sleepers I've ever like known. I've never had to share a bed with anyone who's been as light of a sleeper as her. If you move in the bed, it's like it wakes her up. She can't handle it. She can't handle light. She can't handle sound. She's got light and sound sensitivity from her fibromyalgia, and so it's it's uncomfortable for her if we're sleeping next to her. So I'm like, whatever. I'd rather not get woken up by her getting mad in the middle of the night for me just moving around. So I started sleeping on the futon, on the couch. I don't set up the futon though. I just sleep on the couch basically, and that's hurting me. You've been okay trying to gather inspiration, been slow progress here, trying to soak up the end of summer. So, man, I don't know if you've seen my short. I uploaded a short maybe yesterday or the day before, and it's my entry into the 2025 New Mexico State Fair. So I've entered into the State Fair once again, and I think I may have a good chance. What I made was the mascots, our State Fair mascots, Phil and Phyllis, which are these horse mascots. And it's from a photo, which I should probably bring the photo in or show them the photo. And I should have had a printout of that photo to show where it was coming from. Maybe I can take it in this week or this weekend or something like that. But yeah, it's a photo from online, and it's the State Fair mascots, and they're together with their arms around each other, posing for a photo. And so I made them just like that, with their arms around each other, which is hard. I joined two separate pieces of glass together, conjoining just their, like, the bottoms of their feet, like the corners of their feet, and then their arms just wrapping around the back. I didn't conjoin the sides. I didn't, like, yeah, somehow it made it through the kilning process. It annealed, no crackage. I was so worried that the arms were gonna, like, crack off at that point or something. But it's made it. It's out. It's been out of the kiln for a couple days. It was out of the kiln for 24 hours before I entered it into the fair. Hopefully it makes it through. Hopefully there's no accidents and issues. It's so scary to leave your stuff in someone else's hands, and I don't have it insured at all. So that's interesting. But it was about this big, which, you know, is about as big as a credit card, the length of a credit card. That's what I was actually using to measure. It was like the first one I made was like slightly bigger than this, and so then I was like, okay, so then I gotta have it this way, right? So I had it long ways. So I used that card to measure. It worked. I made the guy I made Phil a little bit bigger than I was expecting. So he kind of towers over Phyllis, but he's supposed to be taller than her, but not that tall. I gave him a little bit extra growth. And then the cowboy hats, man, the horses with cowboy hats, with ears popping out of the cowboy hat. That was crazy. To make those horses, and I'll show you, I have a video, or like I said, there's a short. You can actually just watch the short. Or here, I forget, I can share links. Let me just share the link real quick and you guys can see it. I'll put it in the live chat here. I guess I'll have to try to add it into the comments later for others, if I can remember. I always forget to go back and add those links and things. But yeah, let's see if I can share this while melting this down. Bam, there you go. So that's the video, a little short. So here's my 2025 New Mexico State Fair entry. But yeah, it'll show the photo, and then it'll show the glass, and then a photo in the glass, and it'll show a video of the glass, kind of showing a close-up of the detail. I guess after some time, I just kind of get used to the fact that my fingers go numb and I just start working the glass. They're kind of like tingly numb, like I still have feeling in them. I just got to try to stretch out my shoulder every time. And I have the ability to do so. Or move my hand to the left hand for a moment. Get that feeling back. You don't want to have no feeling in your hand for too long because that's not good. That'll then lead to like long-term damage. So I really got to like be careful how long my fingers go numb for. How much time I got? 7:15-ish, 7:10, 7:11. Oh, 7:11. So there's 5 there. Maybe we should work on a different color to change things up. I don't know. It's all the same. Looked up high volume oxygen brand systems. It's 13K to build basic set. Whoa. Yeah, so I've used the oxygen concentrators that they use for medical use. People have them in their homes and they have the breathing tubes coming off of it. And I've used those before, but they don't push out enough for big items. Like you can push it like to its max to get this sort of pressure, like real soft. And then you're constantly hearing it all running. It's all it's like making noise. And then if like you overdo it and it starts to beep on you with its alarm, it's all beep beep and it like goes off and so loud. It's kind of annoying. But yeah, I got one of those systems. I picked it up for only like $50 at a yard sale, which was a steal because they're worth like $500. I keep it around. Just in case we might need it for just oxygen. We should actually be using it all the time and just breathing in amounts of oxygen and getting it into our bodies and into our bloodstream. Set up like an oxygen bar here, just making the little glass flask, have the tube going into some basically filtered water that then has aromatherapy essential oils put into it. So you can like put vanilla, you can put lavender, rosemary, you can put like really nice calming flavors or essential oils that then you can breathe them in, and it's really awesome. I've made some flasks for oxygen bars in the past, many years ago, like over a decade ago. Gosh, how long ago was that? We set up for some oxygen bars. That's so interesting to remember that. Right next to the Chiba Hut. Oh, so you get two concentrators and an accumulator. Yeah, and then the accumulator is what like holds it and builds the pressure up. Then that, yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, and the tanks are nice. I don't know what you guys pay for oxygen. Out here we're paying in US dollar about $40 right now when I used to pay 20, and they just recently doubled my cost. They said that many of us who've been in and locked in at certain prices for over decades now. I've been doing this for 30 years now, so I've had it for 3 decades now. And they said some of us have been like in a price lock, and that they needed to audit our accounts and get us up to where it's fair, to where they're not losing money. They said that they're sending out tanks and where they're basically like, here, have an oxygen tank and have some cash to go with it. So that's basically what they're doing when they're giving us the price of 20 and under per tank. And I don't know what that would equal out to. And what is that? You guys have francs? Are you in Germany? Or I forget where you're at. Are you here in the States? I believe you're the one that watches from Germany, right? Oh, so you can use propane tanks for an accumulator? That's interesting. You know, one thing that I've seen is how to use I don't remember what the cylinders were that he got. But basically they fit inside of one another. And he had water inside one tank, and he was he had a HHO generator, so he was creating hydrogen from water. And that was such a cool device. It was two tanks. One was a sleeve inside of another, and I don't remember exactly what he used. Oh, they were like the chimney tanks. Like the air ducting that has the heated sleeve. So there's like one sleeve inside of another, and if you cut it, then you can pull one out or something. I don't know. He did it so cool. But as it would fill up with hydrogen, he'd have the tube going through the water, so then it would filter through, right? So that's your backflash arrestor, right? Making sure that goes through water, so you don't have any issues with explosions and things like that. You got the flashback arrestor, so the tube goes through the water in the tank, fills up the tank, and then you got the top cylinder that just basically, as it fills, it just slides up. And then he says that if you need like 20 pounds of pressure, you simply put 20 pounds of weight on top. I'm just like, that's genius. That's brilliant. And with the water in the tank, it makes sure there's a seal so there's no leakage. And yeah, it was pretty cool to see that. So it is possible to make something like that and then have the concentrator just pumping oxygen in, and then you just like fill it up and then start to use it and then have it running. But then you're on a limited capacity unless you have two concentrators going. That makes sense. I'm like, that's pretty much what an accumulator is what I saw him make. I don't know how you would use a propane tank to do it. You'd have to have some sort of a nozzle, an intake nozzle that would allow the pressure to push it in and not back out, is my guess. And I'm also guessing that you could probably use just a regular air tank, like compressed air, and you can probably push it into there as well, which I do have. There's all these fun little ways on blowing glass off grid I've thought about. Like, how can you blow glass off grid? You could make a plasma fire somehow. One thing that I've seen that's so crazy is a torch made out of glass. Look that up sometime. That is so cool. Okay, so you get yours for like $43.17 at one point. That's cool. Oh yeah, you're Washington. So that's right. There's someone else who comes in. I think that might be maybe pro-cannabis lawyer who comes in from Germany. Possibly. But yeah, I was like, wait, I think you might be up there in Washington. Japan being the worst, and then Ukraine, then Bellingham. Oh, your name is Lithuanian. Top 5. A drone, a compressor in the line. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, I'd be interested to see some sort of version like that. I forget what the guy is. He's on YouTube and he makes all kinds of cool science projects and stuff. And one of them was making your own little torch with a HHO concentrator. So he was making like little tiny torches, and he was just like melting like cans and little things, you know. But he doesn't know how to blow glass, and it would have been cool to see, like, all right, let's try to regulate the pressure with how much oxygen and how much hydrogen. Because hydrogen is so hot, I think you're going to need a lot less oxygen. And then hydrogen also burns clean too, that it shouldn't do anything weird with the borosilicate glass. Maybe with soft glass, though, with like bullseye or Moretti glass, it would burn it. It would just like, all the clear glass would just go all smoky and look all black or brown. Alright. So, my arm, my hand's not as numb as it was. I think that break was nice. And also, maybe the more I work, the more it just allows my shoulder to just start to work itself out. And like, I don't know, as a skater, as someone who's skated for a lot of my life, I don't skate anymore. I guess after pretty much when I started blowing glass, I quit skating, but I still feel like I'm a skater to heart. And whenever you'd hurt yourself on the skateboard, you would just walk it off or skate it off, right? So, with my shoulder being the way it is, I just got to keep on spinning glass. Just got to keep on working it off. Because now I can feel it like it's tense, and it feels like it's not really painful, but like you can feel like that kind of pain or that tightness or tension in there as it was before, but it's not making my fingers go numb like it was before. So that's interesting. Like I kind of worked through it. Now I'm wondering about that. If I could just use the oxygen concentrator and press oxygen into some tanks like that, I could have my own oxygen. I could have free oxygen, I think. I'm like, wait a minute. I've been watching this guy's videos for so long, and I just didn't want to make an HHO generator, but I'm like thinking, well, oxygen though, you can keep that safe inside and not worry. The hydrogen, I would have that tank outdoor, and that's a really sketchy situation. A tank full of hydrogen out your back door. You don't want to have a situation like what's going on in Louisiana right now. I don't know what's happening with their holding tanks, but some place called Smitty's Supply exploded for some reason, and there's like now a 15-mile radius evacuation. Well, actually, I don't know if they're evacuating 15 miles radius, but people are seeing black soot and ash falling 15-mile radius out. Which means if the ash is falling that far out, the airborne toxic event is pushed out even further than that. It's probably a 1-mile radius evacuation zone. Maybe 3 to 5, but probably just 1 mile. The way that our systems work and the EPA and everything, they don't care. They just want to give a warning to some people. But most people should be out of there. If you're 20 or 30 miles away, I'd get away from there probably. And then, sometimes you don't have the means necessary to do that. But then again, it's like, okay, well, is your livelihood worth, it's a huge toss-up. You're gonna lose your place of living, so that's, part of your livelihood over your life, or are you gonna diminish your life in order to try to save your home and your homestead and everything? There's someone out there right now who's within that 16-mile zone, and the very first day they were feeling headaches and pains and stuff, and they were 16 miles out. And they said that they were evacuating, and then on other posts they said they're going to return the following day. It's like, you understand that stuff is still falling and it's not done yet, right? But they got livestock, and they got to go check on their animals. But at this point, they already left their animals in it. That the livestock, they're not going to be able to consume any of that if their livestock is there as stock of live food, right? Livestock means you're stocking your food as it's alive. That's what livestock means. You got your pigs, your cows, your sheep, your goats, your chickens, your livestock. So they already have their animals there and in it. Are they really gonna, like, I don't think they're gonna eat it. Hey, love. He's not going to school today. He was sick going to bed. He wants to? Okay. I wasn't gonna push him, babe. He went to bed feeling sick. Okay, then we can get him ready. I'll be ready to go here. Alright, I guess I'm taking our son to school. I was gonna give him the day off. I don't know. Alright, you guys, well, let me make one more real quick, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. I thought I was gonna have some time to just make some glass here, and then go get my daughter here in a minute and take her to school, but I guess he wants to go to school, so we'll see how this goes. The issue is if he starts feeling sick at school, I'm gonna be at work. Alright, if he's feeling better and he wants to go to school, I guess so. I just don't know. He might be contagious still. I don't know. I don't think it's a good idea. I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to go talk to the wife. I'm going to figure this out. I guess she's going to try to rush to get him ready, and we got to go in about 20 minutes. Which is enough time to get lunch made and get him dressed. And then, you know, maybe he's being up and moving around. Maybe that will make him realize that his stomach actually isn't feeling good. Yesterday he woke up and he was fine. And within 30 minutes, he wasn't fine. So, I don't know. I think this is kind of pushing it. But let's finish this one and then I'll let you guys go. But I appreciate you, Austin, for coming in, tuning in, and holding conversation here. Oops, I just bumped my head on the camera. Oh, someone made a mini torch out of glass? That's dope. And it runs on hydrogen. Yeah, so it probably looks like a ray gun or something where you can see the fuel and the fire going through somehow. Like it's pretty interesting how they make those. And then they have the valves in there. Like, how the heck? I don't know. It's amazing. I couldn't do that. They're a better glass blower than I am. The only thing I can do is make the world's smallest glass mushroom and then challenge all other glass blowers. Can you make one smaller? But I can't make a glass torch. That is amazing. There's some guys who make like glass roller coasters or marble tracks and things like carousels and Ferris wheels. I'm so impressed with glass artists who do that kind of stuff. With borosilicate glass like this. I recently saw someone who had a glass mask. You put the whole entire thing over your head, but then it's a smoking apparatus. I recently saw that and I'm like, what is that? That is ridiculous. It fits over the person's head. I don't know if it's a rig or if it's for flour. I don't know, but it is cool. Alright, let's just finish this one up. This one kind of came out a little crooked, but that's okay. Someone's gonna like it still. Alright, we'll see how he's feeling. I didn't know that she was going to want to send him to school today. I figured he was feeling sick last night. I'm going to try to pull this one a little crooked on purpose, because the whole mushroom inside is crooked, so I'm going to try to straighten it out. So it looks like I'm bending it all crazy, but it should work out. Oh yeah. So now I just got to adjust my hand and make sure that I'm going way up and way down in order to keep the glass on axis, since I messed up the straight axis point. So now the axis point is here instead of here with the punchy. You see that? So I have to bring my hand up and down in order to keep the glass on axis. And voila. Alright, I'm going to let you guys go. You guys have an awesome day. I'll try to come back as soon as I can. I got a lot of stuff to do today for others. We got 2 clients and possibly a third friend to help out with emptying a storage unit, or starting to, and then getting our kids to school and back home. And yeah, it's going to be a fun day of running around everywhere. Good thing I got gas in yesterday. Alright, you guys have a beautiful day. Love and blessings. Check it out. I'm out. Talk to you guys soon.